We look at ourselves as the bridge between the traditional financial and the crypto world. So that's why we want to be the bank and issue stablecoin bank accounts directly out of your stablecoin. We all know about the breadth and scale of NWC, 100,000 attendees globally with phenomenal success. But I think it's the content and the engagement, the energy, which is vibrant, rebellious. But I think it's a melting pot of corporates, telecom, startups, especially this 4 years from now, where you have investors, startups, corporate, cutting-edge technology providers all under the same roof. That's phenomenal. We love it here.
We're wrapping up shop here at MWC 2025. It's been a super productive conference. We networked with a ton of mobile network operators, and the booth generated a ton of interest. So that's it for now. We'll see you at the next conference.
Hey everybody, my name's Grant Key. I'm the lead protocol engineer for Telcoin Network. I'll show you our digital cash demo. We've deployed several digital cash options on testnet. This is a Diri testnet. We have selected our e-Mexican peso, and you can see from a list of options, we've got a wallet with several balances, but today we're going to swap for Canadian dollars. Set an amount, we'll do 2,000, and we can see the price impact, the minimum amount received. We set our parameters for the swap, and now we're ready to sign. For the demo on desktop, we're using MetaMask. It's an open source EVM wallet. Telcoin Network is fully compatible with all the EVM products on the market. And once we've signed our transaction, it's now with the network. The nodes are reaching consensus, they're validating it. They're exchanging that information to make sure it's a legitimate transaction. And once that's reached on testnet, about 5 seconds, we should be able to see the information in the block explorer. So here we can see our status was successful. The block that the transaction was included in, 100,593. And we signed our transaction just 22 seconds ago. The power of Telcoin Network with the instant finality, every time a block is produced, the settlement is cleared, that transaction is permanent. And for very low transaction fees and very fast block times. Here you can have a look at our block explorer where we see blocks being produced in real time. This has a lot of information for us, including the token price, the latest block number, and the most recent transactions on the network. And there you have it. It's as easy as that. Users can swap stable tokens now on our Telcoin wallet found on iOS and Android.
How's it going?
Okay, David, how about you?
Yeah, all good. All good, except the tube strikes here. The train strikes are making things impossible.
How we doing, everybody?
Hello. What did I miss?
Loads of really cool stuff.
Ah, should have known. To be fair, looked like you were up to some pretty cool stuff yesterday. So
Oh, mate. Yeah, it was really good.
a lot of people managed to make it.
Yeah, there was about 100 people there. More like a gathering. It was in the Royal Society halls in London near Piccadilly Circus, but it was really good. It was a couple of high profile people there, speakers. Did not want to mess with Susie from the Bitcoin Society there. I'll tell you that. But everyone else was really good, and obviously met quite a few important, pretty good leads there. It was the size of a. It's sort of like a. I wouldn't say it was big, but yeah, more like a gathering.
Nice.
It's an elite gathering, but no, it was worth it. It was definitely worth it.
Lovely. Good to hear. Hopefully more on the horizon.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's really cool you're going to those and spreading the word about Telcoin.
Yeah, well, the next big one is the other one, the London blockchain one. That's a big one, that one. Then there's the one after, which Telcoin's sponsoring in London as well, which I hope we can get tickets for. I can't remember the name of it. It's the next one. I think it's October or November.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much just a holdings thing, but we'll see. We'll see if we can pull some strings. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Lovely. Let's get started. Liberty is a bit late, so I'm happy to take the lead on this one. This is our 19th Town Council recurring meeting. So for today's meeting, we'll have a brief overview of sections Steve-O wants to include in our TAN IP1 report. We'll discuss some aspects of the Telcoin Network Reward Hub. And then we will discuss other aspects of the Telcoin Network Rewards Hub. So double whammy on that front. As usual, let's start with an overview of the TAN Council and the purpose of these recurring meetings. These recurring meetings serve 5 critical functions. They provide transparency to our community. They create a structured forum for proposal discussions, enabling authors to present to the council and community and to discuss, debate, and refine for formal proposal and voting with consensus. They enable regular platform updates. They ensure consistent communication amongst council members. And finally, they allow direct community engagement through question and answer sessions. Town Council is a local governance organisation within the Telcoin platform. Together, we serve as a provider and administrator of collective goods and services within the jurisdictional domain of the Telcoin Application Network, or TAN. The TAN Council, with our 6 members, makes decisions related to TAN improvements and policies through the TAN IP process. We need 5 out of 6 votes to approve proposals within a 120-hour voting period. Our primary duties are to, firstly, allocate TEL issuance on TAN for stakers and developers to harvest. Secondly, plan and finance the development of the Telcoin application network. Our key responsibilities include reviewing and voting on snapshot proposals, attending these bi-weekly meetings, providing regular community updates, monitoring TAN systems, and enforcing operational rules. We use Discord for day-to-day communication, the forum for informal proposal discussions, these recurring council meetings for proposal discussions, deliberation and refinement, and snapshot for formal voting. Overall, the TAN Council has authority over miner harvesting and planning and financing TAN infrastructure. Just to go over recap items from last meeting. So Knoxim hit us up with a bit of 10IP1 issuance review, which I'm sure was a delight. I wasn't here, but heard good things. There was the proposal to pause and redesign the rewards program. So that was taken to snapshot and passed. So no 10IP1 rewards this week or for the next however many weeks until we fire it up again. Future rewards system design and gamification approach. So that's kind of the next step. We will be writing this report and looking at options for how to improve the staker issuance moving forward. Marketing updates. We have been working with Storm on developer-facing material. So that's going to start with a developer landing page, ideally, which we're kind of planning at the moment. Should be building soon. And then apparently we put out a request for community feedback or ideas on what they would like to see in a rewards program, but I didn't see any responses to that request, which is a shame. Would be great to hear from the community in general. Don't be shy. We're all learning here, so get involved. So just a brief one on 10IP1. Steve-O's set off on a big road trip today, so that's why he's not here. But he's set himself a bit of homework to write this report, basically, around 10IP1. He's already put together a skeleton, and it kind of seems to cover everything, really. Pretty ambitious scope, so it goes all the way from the background around 10IP1 to our learnings, compiled data analysis of user trends, considerations around improvements, and recommendations on next steps, basically. Does anyone listening have anything in particular they would like to see in that report, or anything in particular, or any additional ideas that might help us? We would love to hear from you. Alrighty then. Sounds like he's covered everything. Perfect. I wanted to, moving on then, I wanted to go back and discuss a bit more about the Blue Lights reward hub proposal. So we've kind of been discussing this internally a bit, and we are planning to kind of start with a bit of an MVP, minimum viable product, which will kind of be like a bit of a test the water situation, see if people are up for using it, and if they are, it's something we can kind of spend more time and money building out properly. Personally, reading the proposal, I was very excited about a lot of things, but I had a few questions around basically how it would work in terms of claiming rewards, but without signing transactions. So there was talk of a smart contract being used in there somewhere, but then users not actually having to connect their wallet. And I know Blue Lights has already built a very similar product, so I kind of want to ask, how are you managing that, if you know, and if you can share? And then I also saw Marcus is on the call, so I wanted to ask Marcus if that's something we can do, or do we have other kind of constraints or considerations there? So it'd be great to hear from both of you.
Yeah, I'll jump in quickly. So my original idea was to keep it super simple, because Web3 is always a difficult thing for new users. So the kind of essence of the idea was that the kind of fault, the protection in the whole thing is that the when you go onto the dashboard and the reward dashboard and you paste your wallet address in there, for example, and you click scan or check, it shows you what what claimable missions that you've done, and when you claim them, the smart contract will only send the rewards to that wallet address anyway. So I mean, in theory, someone else could paste your wallet address and claim a reward, but you would still receive it, if you see what I mean. So it was more like just stripping back the complexities of having to sign a transaction because I know the Telcoin wallet app is Telcoin Holdings, but they don't have a DApp browser in there, so you can't go in there and connect your wallet to a site anyway. So all of this is done on a third party sort of dashboard, missions.telcoin.org or rewards.telcoin.org. So the fact that a user would still traditionally have to use a wallet like a MetaMask wallet and connect to the site, sign a transaction, and all that kind of stuff is still a bit of a headache. So the idea was just to keep it simple. By all they have to do is paste their wallet address, check what rewards they're eligible for, click claim, and the smart contract just sends the rewards to that wallet address to keep it simple. And nobody can steal funds or anything because the rewards only go to that wallet address. So that was the thinking behind that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the simple approach as well. I think that's really great and really like lowers barriers to entry as well because this is predominantly to kind of get new users on. I really like that. I guess I was still unsure. I mean, to simplify it further, arguably, what I was thinking is we probably don't even need a smart contract. It can just be funds can just be kind of sent out from a back end and an EOA, but then it might get a bit dodgy in terms of security best practices and stuff. I don't know, Marcus, if that sounds reasonable to you or that's something you would kind of shy away from, because I guess that would kind of require essentially a private key and a .env in the cloud somewhere, which is sometimes
for the front end to perform the transaction.
Yeah, basically. So a user. So just to kind of get you up to speed briefly, I guess we've got this idea of having kind of missions, which will be predominantly on-chain actions, basically, which we want to incentivize. So, and then we want to not have to require, we don't want to build a DApp, basically. So it would just be a user puts in their wallet address. They can put in someone else's wallet address as well if they want. And then they can click claim, and the backend will basically check that they have performed the required action, or that wallet has performed the required action, and then send some tokens to that wallet. So just kind of from a technical perspective, how would you go about implementing that, or what would you be considering?
Oh, sure. Well, yeah, claim-based. If tokens are moving, everything should be claim-based, ideally, because if you're sending a token, depending on if it's ERC 721 or ERC 20, fungible, non-fungible, some addresses will reject tokens, or some addresses will be smart contracts that don't have bytecode that can handle tokens. So sometimes if you send one to one of these types of contracts, then those tokens are effectively burned. They can never be accessed again. So with valuable tokens that if the token has a monetary value, usually you would almost always design things to be claimed. So the user goes in and claims it to their own wallet. If it's not a super critical token, though, I don't see an issue with it. And if we're okay with it getting burned forever on accident because it got sent to some smart contract that for whatever reason doesn't have a way to handle tokens, all contracts that are designed to be wallets will be able to handle this. So if we're talking about like the Telcoin wallet or the Coinbase smart contract wallet, those sorts of things, they'll handle it just fine. The main question probably would be more so, using a .env in a backend somewhere. It's not ideal, but I think it's fine for this sort of thing. And it's the main question really is not so much is that safe, because a lot of dApps do that, but more so, who's going to pay the gas to execute those transactions if you're sending them. That would be more my main question for that, but
Yeah,
totally doable.
they in this kind of claim-based system where you're not actually connecting your wallet, we would end up having to pay the gas.
Mhm.
Is one.
Whoever is initiating the transaction will have to. So if the backend is doing it, then
Yeah.
that's whoever runs the backend. What's the aversion to connecting the wallet? I'm curious.
I think we kind of just wanted to simplify things, not have to build a whole dApp front end, I guess.
I see. Okay, yes,
Um,
you just want to paste in an address and do it.
yeah, we thought it would be, just a simpler solution, especially for like an MVP.
Yeah, and also for the end user, if they just go onto the rewards dashboard, for example, all they have to do is paste their wallet address in and then see which missions that they've completed, whether it be a couple of trades or a staking or whatever, and then they just simply click the claim button, and then the back end will only be sending the reward to that wallet address anyway. It won't be, so my thinking was a smart contract on the back end of it would actually be quite simple, because it's not going to be sending to a different address from the one that's been pasted in. The reward is only available to that wallet address that's done the actual action. Do you know what I mean? So
it's guaranteed that that wallet will have the ability to know what to do with the token if it receives it, basically.
Say that again.
So the address that the tokens are only available to, that address will then that address will have, if it is a smart contract wallet or a smart contract, that it will be able to recognize a token and not burn it, is what I'm saying. So it sounds fine.
Yeah, and so basically, this is going to be primarily Tel rewards anyway for for usage with initially, I guess, the Telcoin wallet. So they'll my thinking behind it was just to keep it super simple for the end user without having to connect wallets, without having to do that. All they do is copy paste their wallet address. Oh, I did 2 trades last week. Oh, look, this mission's available. I click claim, I get my reward, and then the back end just delivers it to my wallet, and done.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Is there a concern at all with like RPC costs and how many calls this is going to require? Like, for example, did this wallet do two transactions through Telcoin last week? Can we run into issues there if people start pasting in a load of addresses or something?
Yeah, generally, I think the questions are exactly what you're getting at, which who's going to pay for these things to be available. The first one, like I mentioned, is the gas to execute the transaction, but you sponsor that gas, pay for it on behalf of the user. And then the second is the RPC. What RPC endpoint, or what node are you communicating to on the chain, and who maintains that subscription, that API account. I mean, it doesn't sound like these will be heavy. If you have, if you have a million users, you have to scale that. That's going to be expensive. But if it's just a few hundred, it could be cheap. If you're lucky, you might even be able to get away with a free tier.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting to think about.
But one thing that doesn't quite add up here is, if the smart contract is going to be the one that's aware of whether or not a user completed their quests, you said the quests are all going to be on chain, but the smart contract is going to have to be hooked into those quests then, if the smart contract's going to know, right? Because the only way a contract will know if an address completed the quests is if it has logic to call another contract.
Yeah. That's why I was thinking we don't even need a smart contract. We can just get it through like RPC calls, because then we'll need the history anyway. Was my thinking.
One question, Marcus, for you from the chat. could you make a button that, well, when it's claimed, the gas fees are deducted from the reward?
If you go with Leo's approach, definitely. So you would essentially, yeah, actually. So okay, so in this scenario, you have the back end with a private key that it's going to use to fire off the transaction. That's going to cost gas. So the back end would look at the wallet that was pasted in. Did it complete the quests? Do some RPC calls. Cool, it completed the quest. The quest reward is 10 tel, and we're going to now, the backend. I'm the backend here. The backend's like, we're going to now send that reward to the user. But in order to send that reward to the user, the gas is going to cost, 0.0, I don't know, 0.05, 0.5, let's just say 0.5 tel.
Right.
Deduct it from the 10 that we were about to send, change it to 9.5, and there you have it.
Could we do, to limit gas fees, would it make sense to do like a claiming period, kind of like we did with TAN IP1, right? Where, and I guess that was my follow-up question is, how was gas handled with TAN IP1? Was it just an airdrop and we handled the gas? And then secondarily, rather than, do an on-chain check every single time a reward is completed, would it make sense to do like a check for the week, or is that too intensive of a draw?
It all depends. Yeah. I mean, batching is good wherever possible. You're kind of getting at batching. A week-long batch is great. The 10 IP rewards are derived sort of similarly. I mean, the stack is the same. I'll put it this way: the stack is the same. There is a contract that essentially just increments a claimable amount, and in order to increment the claimable amount, you have to dump tokens into it. It's called the TAN issuance history contract that I wrote. And so essentially, we perform all the checks off chain. We call the RPC, say, oh, these addresses did have these behaviors. They had a certain number of referrals, blah blah blah. Compile that down to a list of this address earned this much, this address earned that much, and then sort of sum all of the money in that's required for all of the addresses to be able to claim, and then walk up to the smart contract, dump the tokens in so that it's solvent, and provide information about the mapping of address to reward. This address earned that much, address B earned that much, and then the only thing that actually happens then is the claimable amount ticks up. So the gas is minimized because tokens aren't, other than dumping a big sum of tokens into the contract, nothing is really moving. You're just sort of saying,
Right.
address A can claim a little bit more now.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah,
I
so-
mean, yeah, go ahead.
So I'm just saying, so it could be like, right, you claim your reward and it says that your rewards will be delivered within 24 hours, for example, and maybe it could run once a day, and just distribute the rewards once a day or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea. Once a day, once a week. I
mean, you're happy. I'd be happy if it said your rewards will be, in your wallet within 24 hours. I'd be like, okay, that's fine. I don't mind that. If I have to wait a week, I'm just thinking from the end user. I might be like, oh, okay. So I click claim and I got to wait a week to get my rewards. But if it says, within 24 hours, it might be, and it could, because if the thing runs at midnight every day, for example, when I claim at 11 and it says it'll be in within 24 hours, I get surprised because it runs at 12. I've got it in an hour. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It just depends on the time of day it is.
Yeah.
Nothing quite beats that initial dopamine hit though when
Yep.
you click claim. Immediately appears.
Well, that's kind of why, like,
how much is it worth to us though? Yeah.
Right. I see both personally. I see both use spaces. I think it's conceptually in my head. I guess I was thinking for one of the gamification things that I was playing with on another project was like you had it essentially every time you completed something, you had the UI showed you your bank of rewards, I guess I would say, the best way to describe it. It was obviously just a UI. It wasn't anything that was actually computing. But then every Friday, I think it was, or we could determine when that is, you had your bank period, your claim period, right, where you can essentially cash in all your rewards type of thing. So, but I get what you're saying. Like, here's where I'm going with that, and I don't know 100% how to implement, but like having sort of that balance that you can see your combined work, I think has a value. whether that's a leaderboard or a, you know, it's a kind of that rewards based dopamine hit, like you said, Leo. So just
Well,
something to consider.
you bring up a good point there, VZ, because what you could do is in your dashboard, you could claim all sort. You could, let's say there's 10 missions and you completed 7 of them. You could claim on your all 7, and it could show you what your rewards are. 322 tel, but it could say that all rewards are paid out every Friday, for example. Do you see
Right,
what I
kind
mean?
of like with 10 IP. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, the idea
As long
is
as I
like,
see it there on the
right,
dashboard, that I've
right.
earned that, and that's coming on Friday. I know what to expect.
And you know what you've earned, right? And like
Yeah.
my thought is like competition always breeds good engagement, right? So like anytime you can have a leaderboard or a compare yourself or your actions, I think about a lot of like anybody that plays MMORPGs or has in the past. There is a lot of times they use a rewards based system that has a 24-hour reset timer, right? And if you miss that period, you miss out on the reward period, right? And then it's cumulative over a set amount of time. So you can repeat said task every day, but if you miss a day, you miss those rewards. So that, there's many different ways that we could look at it. Marcus, I think the cool thing that Leo probably mentioned this, that we were talking about was that what this does is it enables the TAN Council to kind of look at what the objectives we have on the network are. Like, are we trying to push user adoption? Are we trying to push volume, whatever, for a certain period? And we can design rewards gamification around that. Then the other question that we had talked about was that, and Blue Lights is maybe for you, but like, obviously, we don't want to build rewards on top of rewards on top of rewards, right? My question is that like, is there a way to toggle active and deactivate like a certain, let's say, 7 days consecutive trading is one, right? Or that depositing tell in your wallet one time a week is one. Is there a way, depending on the period, right, to disable that script and enable it, or is that a complicated process?
Disable the
Um,
run.
yeah, I'm not explaining it very well. Ideally, like
Certain rewards.
like we have, let me put it this way, we have a bank, right, of let's say 50 different tasks, missions, right? But we don't want all 50 active at the same time. We've identified, we're going to do these 5 for this quarter, let's just say. Is there a way to, like, Nick, I think, had a back end like toggle, or no, whatever we do, but is it easy to um, activate and deactivate and like have a bank of those type of on-chain checks, I guess I would say, for the rewards issuance?
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know how easy, but I think so. You mean on a per wallet basis, 3 of these 50 different quests are active for you, but a different wallet maybe has.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, that thanks for clarifying. No, I meant like 3 for everyone, right? For a month, right? And then we change them based on what we decide for the next month. So it's not, we can make it even an announcement or whatever, right? Maybe for one month we do volume-based rewards or missions, and then the next month we do new user acquisition ones, right? But we aren't doing the volume-based ones anymore, right? It's almost like
Mhm.
thinking about it like incentivizing telex pools, I guess I would say.
Yeah, I think that's relatively easy to do.
And
Cool.
they can be enabled by date as well. You could set a date range in each one, and that could be changed. So you could enable staking for the month of September, for example. So you have all the staking missions. Stake a million tel by this time, by the end of September or something. And then I guess you could just change the mission dates. That they when the data counts and when they're eligible for that reward, and then that mission becomes available, something like that. Anyway.
I wanted to ask, maybe slightly differently, just taking it back a bit. When the smart contract came into it, was that basically to enable the bundling, Marcus? So is a smart contract only required if we're going to be giving out the rewards kind of not immediately when they're claimed?
Sorry, I was still muted. Yes. The everything sort of depends. So with 10 IP1, for example, there's a lot of trades that are happening. There's excuse me, hundreds of addresses making trades and paying fees in tel. So this one relatively like impactful consideration was how much data can you fit into one batch transaction to sort of increment all the claimable rewards for all of those addresses. And it's something like 1,000, I think, as far as that transaction goes. And even that was limited by a previous like staking contract implementation that we use. Predates me, but there was like an external call in there that could have been optimized so that it would have been significantly more addresses, maybe twice as many that you could have incremented in one transaction. So the batching part of it is definitely related.
Oh, but the other part of it is because you have to keep a record of how much they've claimed previously for the calculation. Is that right?
That's also true, but that's only a single state update.
Okay.
Yeah, so per address. So you're right. I mean, per address, we were updating one slot, which basically every time you told the contract how much an address was newly going to be able to claim, or how much more they had earned, that slot is updated. And yeah, storage changes are expensive. So
Okay, I see. Because like for this, if we need a smart contract and it's handling funds, we need an audit, and then
Yep.
for an MVP, suddenly it becomes very expensive. So I'm kind of trying to think how to avoid that, at least for the first step.
Yeah, I think Blue Light's intent to keep things as simple as possible is great, especially for that. You cut down the audit costs, or maybe you don't even need one if you can find a contract that's already audited and does something super simple.
Okay, but if we basically if we just send rewards from an EOA, either batched at an end of a week or unbatched, we could do it without a smart contract, and we keep it simple that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool.
Or you might even be able to repurpose the TAN issuance history contract.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I think you could.
I don't know what state we'd want to persist though, kind of thing. I don't think we need to...
this would be just for if you wanted to keep track of cumulative rewards.
Okay.
That would be the only reason why you would use that.
Yeah. I mean, that would be interesting as well. Like to BZ's point about having leaderboards and stuff, that would be kind of cool. But
yeah, I just think
maybe a little stretch goal kind of thing, perhaps.
Yeah, I think leaderboards are great just because they competition is always something that creates that dopamine hit along with the the claim. So I think it's just another way to drive more engagement.
And the upside of it is as well is that you're actually claiming tel, so it's a good reward for doing some simple tasks. It's a great way. You're getting something really useful as a reward from it. So it kind of makes it more. You want to hit that button as much as possible.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
The other thing I just wanted to touch upon, because I'm not sure if it's this is the bigger picture, but this BZ's got it up on here. My kind of refined Telcoin network reward hub, which kind of goes a bit further than just specifically for Tel's wallet, but somewhere in here, further down, I kind of made a point about any application that deploys on the Telcoin network. This could be a global reward hub for potentially any project that deploys on the Telcoin network that wants to tap into the reward hub and offer some missions for their own. Obviously, they have to be GSMA approved developers, but they could also have some missions that go on the reward hub for their application as well. A bit further down here, I kind of made a way how both the user and the developer could get something from it. Can you scroll down a bit on that, BZ, on the screen you've got up there? There's something I put in there about where is it? Further down. here, incentivizing app developers. So to encourage deeper ecosystem participation, app developers building on the Telcoin network may be eligible to earn a portion of rewards when missions tied to their apps are claimed. So it creates a dual incentive where the users earn Tel by completing useful missions, but the builders can get a share for driving that engagement. So that was like another idea of trying to make it a bigger thing overall for a global thing for the Telcoin network as the main reward hub for everything on the Telcoin network. Obviously, this is later on, but that's kind of how my idea evolved a bit further than just the missions for the Telcoin wallet kind of users, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. I love that. Expanding the network is great, yeah. I mean, it could even work both ways, right? You can have app developers who want to sponsor their own missions and use the reward hub as well.
Yeah, I have Blue Lights pulled up, right? His website, right? But that is he actually has that like the Telcoin Explorer right here. So I mean, yeah, it's, you could do something like this. Yep.
Powerful. That'll be great.
I've got a great feeling for it. I can see it. I can see it working so smoothly that everyone's going crazy for it.
I like it. Yeah, me too. I think we're well on the way. It's like hashing out all these questions and stuff. It's a clearer idea, and I think it's got great potential. So
yeah, I love this what I have pulled like this community leaderboard. Like this type of thing I think is really cool. Like it's a really easy way to get people like competing against each other. I think it's awesome. And you earn money, you know, for it. You earn Tel for it. It's great.
We've got some good Tel representation there as well. That's awesome.
Yeah, some of them have been really testing it out for me. It's been great feedback as well. I put the sidebar on there, on the left-hand side to make it a bit easier. That was some great feedback we had from one of our fellow council members.
That's awesome. Yeah, great to see. It's the community doing their thing.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Lovely. I think we've got kind of plenty to think about from that, and we've had a lot of questions answered. So thank you very much, Marcus. That was really helpful. One other aspect of the rewards hub would be what challenges we'd actually use, and I know Knopusim had some thoughts about that. I know Blue Lights also mentioned a few in his proposal. So, for example, stake X amount of Tel using the staking feature. That would make a great mission. Swap tokens daily for 7 consecutive days. Refer 3 new users who complete 1 transaction. Hold X Tel in your wallet for 30 days without sending, and deposit X Tel into your wallet from an external source. I think are all great missions. I think, yeah, the like RPC calls are the only concern, but we can design them in such a way that we can kind of minimize the costs there, and maybe even calculate those costs and take them out of rewards and stuff. So should definitely be manageable. I know Knopusim also had some thoughts, and it'd be great to hear any other suggestions from the community. What kind of missions you might want to see, which you think would be useful. We're all ears.
Yeah, and guys, I'll put the forum post in the chat here, even if you don't have time to put it in our chat here, but feel free to go on the telcoin.org forums and give us your ideas or drop a line on X or Discord. There's lots of different ways to share, but if you've seen something like kind of like we talked about last week, let us know, because we're trying to build essentially a rewards platform for the community by the community. So please do so.
Knopusim, did you want to walk us through some of the ideas you had for challenges?
I'm still working on it. We'll continue developing the ideas and see what we can do.
Nice.
And I really think we should do a 1 month sprint with some specific missions, and then continue followed by recurring missions as we've got the example on the forum, like stake an amount for 30 days in a row, doing swaps, etc. But I'm more thinking about a sprint thing for about 1 month to just welcome a lot of new users and to download the app and just use it and learn how to use it at first. And then, I mean, with this sprint, they can earn a lot of tel. And then thanks to this tel, they can use it and use the app for swaps and etc. See what I mean?
Yeah,
True.
like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
accelerated. Yeah, good idea.
I really like the idea of having kind of learning-based challenges as well, but we do need the challenges to hit the chain at some point. So that's kind of a hard that's a hard one to hit, I feel. Yeah, I'd welcome any ideas on that front, but
So I have it up on the screen right now, but Blue Lights had actually
Mm.
built out his planet thing here, which is kind of like that, like the learn. Yeah, very similar, and then
Yeah.
you'd have to take a quiz to pass it. So I thought that was pretty cool idea.
Oh, nice.
Framing out.
Yeah, and there's like 6 scrolls per sort of planet. So planet Telcoin, you've got 6 scrolls. You have to read each scroll. They're broken down into tiers about different parts of the project, and then you read the first scroll. You then take a quiz, which is where the gamification comes in, and you could probably do it quite easily as well with Tel. You take the quiz, and as long as you get the answers correct, you earn some XP or you earn some Tel or something like that. So again, it could be it doesn't have to be on chain straight away. It could be the same thing that you've passed the quiz and it says rewards are paid out every Friday or something, but you see it on the dashboard that you've passed the quiz and you've earned this much Tel for completing the knowledge, the scrolls for each part of Telcoin, for example. So I think it's all doable, you know.
Sweet. Yeah, I guess if it's just a back end deciding if people are worthy of the reward or not, it can check if the answers are right. It doesn't actually have to hit the chain. So, yeah,
Then it's
nice.
just an airdrop. Yeah.
Banging. Go on, BZ. Don't be shy. Let's see you. Let's see you answer those questions.
I'm not logged in.
No.
Can't help you guys. No, I think
Log
I already did
in.
all this on my account.
Log in. Log in.
Or if you want, I'll share my screen.
Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah, you have full access. If you, hey, Blue Lights, if you could you show that you showed me the admin
Oh
dashboard?
yeah.
Can you show
That's
that?
where all the hard work's coming
Yeah,
through.
show that because I think that's a really good kind of like what I was talking about the how we control what's happening. So I think I think that's cool. If you could.
I'm in. Let's have a look. Okay, let me see if I can do it this way.
Yep, you're good.
You got it. Okay, let me go over to it. So yeah, can you see it okay?
Yep.
So my admin dashboard that I built is pretty intense. It's got every part of the, on the website. I've got all the users here. For example, you can have. I can even look down here at a user and see, what they've been doing on the site, what they've claimed and finished. I can see the planets they've completed, the games. Through here, I can see
awesome.
as well what missions they've claimed and completed. Tells me how much XP they've got. In the guides, I can write and preview and add new guides. The missions is here, which we're talking about. So you see how I can toggle them on and off.
Right. That's kind of how I was trying to describe it in like a UI sense.
Well. So I've built a whole platform to create missions, whatever it is here, how much reward they get for it, the chips and the reward XP, what category it goes into, daily tasks, mission title, create a mission. Then I can toggle it on and off and I can edit it. The game, the same here, the planets, this was a lot of work, but for example, here's all the scrolls. I can add a new scroll if I wanted to. I could add another thing. I can edit, all the content in there that I've done in each scroll, and then I've got the answers to it as well. So much. I can add new planets as well. Other stuff here. analytics, which is I'm working on because I know we like analytics. So I've built my own analytics dashboard. I didn't want to use any others. I thought I'm going to build my own one. So I've built my own one here, which is not fully working yet. But back to the game. So back to the Telcoin planet, for example. So what you would do, scroll one, what is Telcoin inside the Telcoin network? You know, it breaks them down into further parts of what Telcoin is, for example, governance and the road ahead. But if you take the first scroll, you'd basically, I try to make it as simple as possible because I love simplicity. That's my number one thing in Web3 is keeping things simple. So I've tried to break down the understanding of it here. And when you've read that first bit, which takes you 5 or 6 minutes, you can retake the quiz and you basically get a knowledge check, 3 questions. What is the primary role of Telcoin Holdings within the Telcoin ecosystem? You know, you answer it, you move on to the next one, you move on to the next one. And once you complete it, you have completed that scroll. Then this next scroll would open up. Same thing. You have a read inside the Telcoin network. You give it a read. Come down here. You take your quiz. 3 simple questions, and each time you complete it, you earn XP. And it all goes towards the leaderboard here, which BZ showed. Obviously, is a bit biased because I'm at the top. It's only because I've had to test every single thing I've done. So eventually, I'm going to take my name off there. But so these users here, Cotsmany in there, but he's been hitting it real hard. Thank you for testing it, mate. You've done so much testing on it. It's been wonderful. But that's all the combined XP that he's earned from doing all the missions, the planets, anything to do on the site. That's his XP that he's got to, you know, for completing everything. So obviously built in like friends list as well, things like that. So, you know, it's getting there slowly. It's coming a long way. But these are all the kind of main features. You can vote for on here token of the month. So it's got 2 votes in a minute. And that when you vote for the token, that you also get XP for voting every week, because we want you to come back and keep voting for your favorite token that's on the platform. Obviously, API is pulling all the pricing from CoinGecko and everything. I'm building guides, like, you know, I wrote a guide here as well for stake and refer for Telcoin. So I haven't integrated much with earning XP on the guides yet, because I don't know how to prove someone's read a guide and, you know, done it. So that's more just for informational purposes. But it's just all designed to have a bit of fun, really, with Web3. And that's kind of pretty much it. You know, you got your dashboard here, where you can claim every day. You can come in and you can get a daily streak. This is another good idea for a mission for the Telcoin one, is that let's say you do a trade a day for a week, and you get your daily streak. If you miss a day, it's gone. That mission is not claimable, because you have to do 7 straight days of trading in the app to build your streak up. You know, things like that. And then you just come in and claim your missions. I probably have got 1 or 2 that I haven't completed, so I'm not ready. I haven't done these planets yet. I've been testing other ones, but you just come in. It would say a green button would say claim. You hit that, and then bang, your XP up here, and all your XP moves up to the next level, or how much XP you get. So it's all I think doable. The only thing I haven't got in here is actually, you know, deploying a crypto token, TEL or something to a user. So that's the only thing I haven't sort of done. But pretty much that's it in a nutshell, really.
Awesome stuff. Love it. Love to see it. Yeah. How long did that take you in total to build? How long have you been working on that?
I started at mid-June, I think, and
wow.
probably about 3 weeks. And then from then on, it's been just fine-tuning it and making it work better and look better and be neater and more tidy, and adding a few more features here and there.
Jesus, rapid.
Yeah, I don't mess about.
Yeah. Good man.
You're
on our council.
Yeah.
The cool part, the cool part, like, you think about it at scale, right? And something like the streak, like you really have the ability to potentially push a lot of transactions in conjunction with, you know, and rewarding those transactions in a very measurable way, which I think is really important. So like it's a great idea. I love it. I think I'm all for it.
Yeah, and I had the obviously for me, you know, just every time I think about it, it kind of gets enhanced more thinking about Telcoin and the Telcoin network, and that's why the generic kind of Telcoin network reward hub is the main kind of thing that supports all the apps that are on the Telcoin network. You know, it can grow so big. I mean, you can imagine like the MNOs, for example, even putting a mission on there for sending a stable coin to someone else. You know, I mean, just for a bit, whatever it could be. It's like your Costa coffees and your Starbucks kind of rewards. You know, it's just a page there that's got all the rewards that are on offer, and any app can plug into it, or even sponsor and do that kind of stuff. And it could be something really good, a nice, simple, one place that everyone knows where the rewards are for the whole entire network, not all scattered and like all these dApps that have got different rewards on one blockchain and everyone does something different. No, it's the actual blockchain that has the reward hub itself for all of the apps to come to one place to claim their rewards for all of the uses. You know.
Absolutely, yeah. I think you've hit the nail on the head. It'd be powerful. We need to get it built. We need to get this MVP going. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think the last thing I'll say on it is that exactly what you said, an MVP, because what we want to do is capture some data. We want to push it as much as we can with the MVP, but we want to also capture some data to see what people are doing and which, you know, there could be some missions that are more like I forgot to show you, but on the missions one, on my one, it shows you in each corner of the mission how many people have actually claimed that mission. So some of them are the easier ones. Obviously, there's more people that have claimed. The more difficult ones, where they've got to do something more difficult, it's got a lower number, but it's still good data to kind of understand where people are leaning to.
Definitely, yeah. And like seeing the click through and seeing to what extent are people willing to get involved? Where do they draw the line in effort? Yeah.
Well, and that's why some of the more difficult missions, or like the 7-day streak, for example, could be a higher reward because you've got to put in more effort to get it. So that one could be more tell than a simple one of just logging in and doing one trade or something like that. You know.
Definitely, yeah. Awesome.
Is it? Sorry, and I've been
What's up, man?
in and out away from this entire stream, but is it possible to do like? And this could have already been covered for all I know, but Easter eggs between the Telcoin Association website and the gaming. You know, like the
Oh, I love that idea. Now you got me like, yeah.
The more you read throughout the Telcoin Association, it's going to give you like a code or something like that you can redeem.
Right, you're generating click-through traffic to like network areas and other areas of telcoin.org. That's a great idea.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I would love.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do anything you want pretty much, and you can also do things like connect to the Telcoin Association Discord. I've got that built in now, so on my one, I've got Telegram connected. When you join the Blue Chips Telegram channel, I've built the automation checks it all and checks everything, verifies that you've actually joined the group or the channel, and then that mission becomes claimable. So you know you can do all sorts of things like that, and that's why I think it's so powerful, because nobody can really game the system because it's a game. So the only way you can game it is by playing the game, and you have to do these missions and complete them to earn your reward. You know.
Absolutely. Lovely stuff. We're almost at time as well. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to raise? We'd like to open the floor to any community questions, discussion points.
You had asked earlier. Yeah, there was one earlier about ways to earn, and I had a comment that I didn't have a chance to answer, but wouldn't mind it. Basically, a comment about this system. Wouldn't mind another way to earn. I stake my Telcoin, but it's a tough sell this early in the process to get folks to sign on and use the app when there's no fiat on or off ramp in the UK. This is from James Miller. And I know this was covered a few weeks back by Paul about their plans for that specific corridor. So I definitely would recommend going back and taking a look at some of the shorts that we have on our Telcoin YouTube. You'll be able to see some of those clips. But yeah, this would be a way to certainly incentivize people to come and join us on the platform.
I think to Knoppessim's point he mentioned earlier as well, it's like ideal because you can give people tokens just for like signing up basically, and then suddenly they have something to play around with in the app. without having to on or off ramp, which is pretty neat. So yeah, I'm glad they've kind of shared that. I think that's one of the real strengths of this idea.
Definitely agreed.
Yeah. Lovely. Any more?
No, I was just going to say I have no more at this point. There was another question about listings. Again, this is the Telex the TAN council meeting, so it's TAN focused. I would recommend joining in next week Thursday for some more updates on that front. As we've said, we are in a blackout period while we're in final exchange conversations, so we cannot have any further conversations or comments other than that. So more to come, but yeah.
Yeah, I just saw a question from Dave in the chat. He said, "Would the rewards build if you don't claim every week?" But that can be set however the council choose to be. It could be that no, if you don't claim them in a week, then those last week's rewards are gone. You've got to start next week and claim, or they could build. It all depends how you want to do it.
I like the frequency thing, like the hot streak. Like if you miss a 24-hour period, you don't get, because basically it rewards the people that are doing the actions daily, which helps the network, right? So like I love that having it time gated, kind of where it expires, you can't go back and do it.
Yeah, like come back every day and check in. If you do it 7 days in a row, you can claim a reward.
Definitely. We had another comment in the Discord saying random, but maybe a public event from Dusty. Dusty, if you could maybe clarify that a little more, that'd be great. But I will say that we started off this call talking. Blue Lights had just attended a conference in London, actually, a blockchain conference. So we're looking at more of that stuff for sure. But if you have like you saying like a meetup or something else like that, what are you thinking? Give him a second to answer. I can respond to him later. He hasn't responded, so no problem. But yeah, that was the only questions I've had so far.
Nice,
Except
lovely.
for my screaming baby in the background. Sorry.
Oh, good. Great stuff. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed. We'll catch you in 2 weeks' time for the 20th meeting. Yeah. See you then.
Cheers, guys. Catch you later.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Telcoin app,